Watching. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to become a candle making super genius. Beginners, you can do this too. I'm going to walk you through my beginner's guide to candle making. You're all going to learn how to make candles in just 5 easy steps.
So let's get started. I'm going to use this large 14-ounce glass vessel. It's an irregular shape and I think it'll make a unique candle. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I'm also going to use two 9.5-ounce containers. Now once you decide on the vessel or vessels you want to use, you'll want to measure the radius of your candle vessel. Measuring helps you to choose the appropriate wicks for your project. If you're not sure about which wicks to use, you can consult our guide to wicking at candlehaven.ca for recommendations. This is Cocoa Apricot Cream Wax. It's a stunning natural luxury wax. It adheres to glass perfectly and it features excellent hot and cold throw, which for you beginners out there loosely means that it holds scent well and smells pretty darn good lit and unlit. The other nice thing about this wax is that it's a one-pour wax. With cheaper waxes like soy and paraffin, you may fall victim to cave-ins and sinkholes, but not this wax. Pour it once, it'll set perfectly every time. Sometimes you really get what you pay for. I'll begin with my single-ply wooden wick. This wick is suitable for vessels 3 to 4 inches in diameter, and it works great with our cocoa apricot wax. The wooden wicks are sold with wick stands for ease of use. I'm just going to affix that now so you can see how simple this is. Next, I'm going to use an eco wick. These wicks work really well with natural waxes. This is our Eco 12 wick, which is suitable for a vessel with a diameter of 3 inches. Finally, for my larger vessel, I'm actually going to make a multi-wick candle. I'll be using 3 45-strand cotton wicks. Okay, time to place the wicks in your vessels. I like to use these handy-dandy wick stickers. They're just dots that are adhesive on both sides, but they're really convenient. Some people like to use glue guns, and that's fine, but I find glue guns a little messy and time-consuming. By the way, if you're noticing random hands appearing in my video frame, that's my daughter. She's a beginner, and I'm teaching her how to make candles today. So for now, it seems she's applauding my efforts. Now to affix my other wicks, I'm going to use a little video magic to do this really fast. There are tricks that you can use to perfectly center all of your wicks, and if you'd like to see a video of this, comment down below and I'd be happy to create a video to show you how. But for now, just eyeball it and do the best you can. Okay, now it's time to add wick setter tools. A wick setter tool holds your wick taut in place where you want it to be while your candle sets. My wooden wick doesn't need one, it's held in place with the wick clip and the wick sticker. In the case of my larger vessel, however, I don't have a wick setter that is large enough, and so I'll have to improvise. I'm going to use chopsticks to hold these in place. If you don't have chopsticks laying around your house, you could use a popsicle stick or a pencil or pen. All of our wicks are primed with wax, and so with a little coaxing, you can get them to stay in place. Perfect. I'm now going to weigh my wax and melt it. In order to know how much wax you need to know the maximum fill weight for your vessel. Once you know the max fill weight, be sure to subtract a little bit of wax to make room for your fragrance oil. If you intend to use fragrance oil, candles without fragrance are fine too. There are exact calculations you can use to know exactly how much wax you'll need, but I'm not going to spend a long time going through all of the math today. But for your reference, I'm posting the calculations on screen, and you can also view this information at candlehaven.ca. Now I did do all of my calculations ahead of time because I'm making 3 different candles today, and so I wanted to know exactly how much wax and oil I needed for the project. I would recommend that when you pour your oil, you find a glass container. Don't use plastic or styrofoam as the oil can eat away at those materials. Also, be sure to put a lid on your container so that no one drinks it. Yes, I said so that no one drinks it. I know that might sound crazy, but my husband accidentally drank my fragrance oil once thinking it was beer. He said he couldn't get the taste out of his mouth for 3 days. To melt the wax slowly and safely, I'm going to use a double boiler. If you don't have a double boiler, you can create one like I'm doing here. Just make sure you put about 1 inch of water in your pot. It's absolutely essential that you use a thermometer so that you know the temperature of your wax. You can use a meat thermometer or, in my case, a confectionery thermometer. At this step in the candle making process, reading vendor instructions becomes very important. Make sure you check the optimal pour temperature for your wax. Don't just wing it and hope for the best. You'll ruin your candles and they won't set properly. The optimal pour temperature for cocoa apricot cream wax is 180 to 190 degrees. Once it's off the heat, you can add any coloring or fragrance oil that you like. I'm not personally adding any color today, I just want glossy white candles. I am, however, adding scent. Once you add your fragrance oil, make sure to stir it for approximately 2 minutes to give your fragrance time to bind to your wax. Place your candles in a location where you won't have to move them for the next hour. And now get ready and pour your candles. Pour them slow enough to make sure you don't splash the sides, but don't be afraid of it either. If you do splash the sides, don't worry. We can correct little mistakes with a heat gun once the candles have set. So it's been about an hour and the candles have set. I'm really pleased with them, so I think I'm going to go ahead and trim my wicks. I'm going to start with my wood wick. Using wick trimmers, I'll trim the wick to 1/8 of an inch. If you leave a wood wick too long, your flame may be too high and too intense for your vessel, and then you'll have a torch and not a candle. Oops, you can see that when I trimmed the wick, I disturbed the top of my candle a little bit, and so I will fix that at the end with a heat gun. If you're using an eco wick, trim to approximately 1/4 inch. The top of this candle is glossy and perfect. This is the type of quality I've come to expect with the cocoa apricot wax. I really can't say enough nice things about it. I'll finish by trimming my multi-wick candle. It looks like one of my wicks may have disturbed the top of the candle, so I may have to correct this one as well. This is a heat gun. It's an essential tool in candle making. Don't use your hairdryer. It isn't made for this. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started making candles, I did use my hairdryer a couple of times, and I made a huge mess all over an antique table. The heat gun has a softer flow of warm air that you can just use directly where you need it to be. It gently warms your candles to correct minor mistakes. It doesn't destroy them, which is what happens with a hairdryer. Even with your heat gun, it can be too intense if you point it right at your candles. Be sure when you use your heat gun that you hold it far enough away from your candle. Don't worry, you'll see your wax start to melt immediately. Now that all my candles are perfect, I'm going to personalize them. For my first candle, I'm going to add some rose quartz mini chips. Enhancers make your candles really unique and special. For my second candle, I'm going to use some opal chips. Wow, look how pretty they are. I'm also going to add some golden citrine chips. They look like a little sprinkle of sunshine. Finally, for my multi-wick candle, I'm going to use amethyst mini chips. You can use as many or as little as you want. It's really up to you. I'm also going to use some lavender buds. They go really well with the amethyst and they add beauty and scent. This would be a lovely gift for someone that loves lavender. So all of my candles look really pretty, but in order to keep these enhancers in place, I have to hit them for a moment with the heat gun, just about 3 seconds each. This will warm the wax just enough to hold the enhancers in place. With the 3-wick candle, I'll heat a little longer and from the sides because you can't heat from over top of the candle because the lavender buds are just too light. I did it once, they flew everywhere, it made a mess. Just heat from the sides and heat a little longer if you have to. Once you're done, make sure you give your candles at least 72 hours to cure so that your fragrance oil has time to bind with your wax. Here's my finished candles. I think they're beautiful. I hope you do too.
Okay, so that's it for the beginner's guide to candle making. I hope this video helped show you how to make candle making fun and easy. And if you learned something new today, please subscribe to my channel. All of the products shown in my video are available for purchase at candlehaven.ca. Candlehaven.ca is one-stop shopping for all your candle making needs and many beautifully unique items you simply won't find anywhere else. Now go forth and make candles like the super genius you now are. Thanks for watching.